Hello, my name is Simon Birchall. I'm the Managing Director of Timeware, and I'm here with Dave Webb, who's a Timeware implementation specialist. And what we're going to do over the next few minutes is give you an overview of Timeware 2020. One thing that we need to consider when we're thinking of a Timeware system is the configuration of the product. Is completed by Timeware. So what we would do, we would sit down with a customer, we sit down with every customer, and we ask a series of questions, and we do this at a pre-installation meeting. And we use the results of that meeting to build the database, if you like, for that particular customer. And each build is unique to that particular customer. And also, what's worth noting is that once the system's in use, any changes that are needed to be made to the system are made by us, and we call that a managed service. So what you're going to see over the next few minutes, if any of it looks complicated, don't worry about that. The setup is all completed by specialists, and any modifications after the system's been installed are completed by a support team, and that's called a managed service. Next, I'd like to describe how the software is installed on the customer's network. So Dave, in your experience, how does this happen? What's the configuration?
The configuration would be that we would install the Timeware databases on a SQL server, and then we would have the customer's client PCs connecting to the database.
How many clients could you have connected to the one database?
Unlimited.
In your experience, what's say a customer with 100 employees, typically 5 clients maybe connected?
Yeah, about 5 or 6 clients, all concurrently connected.
Great, thank you. Now we'll talk about attendance points. So if you can imagine, we've got a workforce management system, and we need to have a method of employees identifying themselves when they arrive at work. And 3 different ways of doing this. We could use proximity fobs or cards. We can use fingerprint, and we can use face recognition. Timeware also has an access control module. And the access control module is connected to a series of access points, which could be turnstiles, roll shutter doors, and generally any entrance to a building or the office. And so we end up with the software running on a server. We end up with clients accessing the data that's held on the server. And we have what are called services, which collect the information from the attendance points and the access points. They gather that information, that employee information, and pull that up to the server, making it available for the clients. So it's a simple network. So we've got the server, we've got the clients, and we've got the hardware connected by TCP/IP. Timeware is a proactive system. And what that means is the system gathers information and it presents it to the user in the form of a to-do list. Now, the to-do list appears on the client PCs. And Dave, could you give me some examples of items that would appear on a to-do list, please?
Yes, it could be that an employee's made a clocking error, so they forget to clock in or they forgot to clock out. It will produce an anomaly on the system if a person is unauthorised absence, if there's been any overtime work that needs approving, or any training or qualifications that have expired, and the system will highlight that on the to-do list for you.
Okay, thank you. At the heart of the Timeware system is the personnel module. Now we can integrate with your existing HR system if necessary. If you don't have a system, personnel module provides an effective way of managing all your personnel data. It allows you to store, update and view information with full auditing facilities. It's a secure environment and it's based on company-defined permissions. Okay, Dave, could you take me into the personnel module, please? Okay, so if you could describe to me some of the key features and the key fields in the essential section, please.
In the essential section, what we have, if an employee was going to use a fob or a card to actually clock in and out with, they would have to have the badge number.
Great.
Again,
Okay.
Record.
Makes sense.
We'd also need a payroll number.
So this is if we will integrate it with Sage.
Integrated,
for example.
Sage,
Yep.
or a similar payroll system.
Okay.
We'd also require an email address if the customer is going to be using the employee self-service.
Okay. Is this so that the system could send messages back to an employee, not a manager?
Yeah, once a person has requested it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. The date started with the company,
Okay.
so we just can work out the as a service
Okay.
for an individual.
And then we have policies. Do
Then
we
we
have
have
section
sort of,
policies?
settled policies. They're basically what previous schedule you're on, so that's like a shift pattern.
Okay. And these have all been they've all been pre-configured, haven't they, by us when we actually
Yes.
implement the system. So these are referring to setups that have been made earlier during the installation process.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. All right. And the picture. Just tell me, how do we get the picture on that? How do we get a picture of the staff on that?
It would be take a picture with a camera,
A webcam, maybe.
webcam,
Okay. Fine.
and you can then just download it, or you can capture it through the webcam.
Great. Thank you very much. Next, we have timeware absence management. So, tracking holiday entitlement, managing holiday schedules, and monitoring absenteeism are three essential factors that make up the timeware absence management module. Okay, please could you take me to the absence management screen? Great, right. What have we got here? Can you describe what we've got on the screen, please?
So on the screen there, we've got an individual's holiday year.
Okay, I just if I can, so that goes from January to December. Can we change that? Could that be different?
It can be different for each employee or groups of employees.
Okay, good.
Okay. So on the screen there, we've got different colours representing different types of absences. So on the screen, we've got green for at the moment, for green for sickness, and yellow for any holidays.
Okay, so holiday entitlement, touched on holidays. Could you show me how we would, where we would set a holiday entitlement up, please?
Yeah, so each individual under entitlements can have an entitlement policy. And if we click on the little icon, you would see there that that's their entitlement policy.
Okay, and I can see years service. So we could have some sort of structure where between 1 and 5 years it was, say, 25 days, 6 and 10 years. Yeah. Okay, great. All right, let's quickly show me how we would book a holiday, please.
Yeah. So we double click on the first day of the absence,
Okay.
the holiday. Select the absence category, so it's holiday. Select the holiday the absence to be taken, so holiday full day. Put in the start date and the last day of the absence.
Okay, on the right hand side, just before you go any further, I can see there's an information screen, and what that's showing, it looks like we've got the entitlement for the year, we've got what's been taken, what's planned, and the remaining. So if you accept that, let's go through and make that booking. Okay, I can see the 5 days there. If you tried to book more days than was allowed, I'm guessing you get us.
The system would stop you from
At that point. Okay.
Stop you at that point. Yeah.
All right. Good. Okay. So next, could we look at booking not a holiday this time, but a sickness? Let's say it's a day's absence.
Yeah. So we do the same sort of procedure as you did for the holiday. You click
Okay.
on the first day of the absence. You would then select the absence category.
Okay.
You would then select the actual absence reason. But if you watch the screen on the right hand side, the information panel changes.
Okay. What have we got there?
Okay, so in there we've got the Bradford factor score for the individual,
Okay.
and also the last 12-month rolling absence. So we go back from the first day of the absence for 12 months.
Is this customizable for each customer?
It is customised.
And we would sit down with the customer at a pre-installation and customization meeting, and we'd find out exactly what information needs to be displayed.
Yes, well, information can be displayed, and they may have variations on the Bradford factor score as well.
Or it could be statistics if we're looking for trends for people taking Monday, having more sicknesses on a Monday or a Friday, or even the day after a football match.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right, thank you. Next, we have the attendance module. Now, the attendance module supports a number of well-known work pattern methodologies. It includes standard flexi time, rotating shifts, shift patterns that can be planned up to 52 weeks in advance. Okay, this is a flagship module that's been developed over many years to provide an accurate solution for processing attendance data. Okay, could you take me to the attendance module, please? Now, I think what we should do is look at some of the different types of shift schedule work pattern configuration that we can have on timeware, please.
Yes, what we've got there is on the first one would be a 4 on 4 off shift. So
okay.
It's rotating, and some weeks they will do 3 days, and some weeks they'll do 4, and it rotates over a sort of an 8-week period, or it could be 16 weeks.
Okay, so this is something that will be clarified in a pre-installation meeting being configured by the specialists. All right. And what other sorts of shift patterns or work patterns can the system cope with? Flexi time?
It can do flexi time.
Yeah.
It can do sort of rotating shifts where you do 1 week you're doing 6 till 2, next week you're doing 10 till 6, fine. Third week and so on and so on.
And again, this is customisable, isn't it? This
all
is
customisable.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
And then there's a straightforward sort of 8 till 4:30 shift.
Okay. All right. So going back to the main screen, just describe to me what we have here, please.
We would have an individual's clocking record for a complete week.
Okay.
And it's breaking us down into a daily record. So at the times the person clocked in, times the person clocked out, unlimited number of times people can clock in and out.
Okay.
So they can clock in and out for breaks, moments of break if that's required.
What are the flags at the far side, please?
The flags on the far side are indicating when overtime has been worked. So we've got the red flag, which is indicating that the manager has been into the system and has declined the overtime.
Okay.
Not approved it. The green ones are the overtime has been approved and waiting to be paid. So
okay.
After the payroll. And this one here, the grey one, no decision has been made on that.
So we've got 2-tier approval, and that's throughout the whole system. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Okay. The way the system calculates time. This happens behind the scenes, doesn't it? So we described earlier in the video how services collect information from the attendance points, pull them into the software, and this is calculated continuously. So if we were to look at this, how soon after somebody's clocked in would you be able to see their booking, attendance booking in the software?
It's within seconds.
Within seconds. Okay. All right. Good. So we've covered the original setup. We've got this continuous overtime. Sorry, this continuous calculation, and we've got the overtime authorization. Could I ask you? Could you go into the planner screen for me? Okay. What is the planner screen used for?
It would be to forward plan an individual shift changes. So I could change an individual from working a particular shift pattern. I could forward plan it,
yes,
and move on to a different shift pattern.
So this will be used if there was a change to the norm. So once the system's been configured, you may have a 4 on 4 off, but if there was a change to the plan, it doesn't require a user to go in and change the configuration. There's a way of doing that, and a change could occur for a couple of days, and then it would drop back into the normal pattern again. Yes. Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Timeware access control brings you an integrated security, protecting what's most important, your people and your property. Designed to integrate seamlessly with timeware, ensures that when a contractor completes a job or when an individual leaves employment, they will no longer be able to access your building. Timeware access can be used to control doors, barriers and gates. Okay, next we'd like to look at the access module, please, Dave. Now, this is really very straightforward because access control is a physical thing, but to set this up, to actually define the rules, there are a number of stages, but at the basics we have the access patterns, is that right?
We do.
Okay.
And this will determine when a person can get through a door and what time they can get through the door.
Yeah.
What
days, which days? Yeah.
What days.
Okay. So once that's been configured and it's been applied to a policy, then we can apply a policy to a person. Yeah. That information sent down to the doors, and then when that person presents the card or the finger, or when he tries to use the facial recognition, the door would open or the turnstile would open to let them through.
Yes.
Okay. And obviously we've got a number of reports that
based around that information.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. The timeware report module provides over 160 clear and concise user-editable reports, forms and graphs as standard. The timeware export module provides an easy way to pass raw timeware data to an external application such as Microsoft Excel for further data mining or to simply develop an ad hoc report. Okay, could you take me through to the reports module, please? All right, let's describe what we've got on the screen, please.
So on the left-hand side, we have the report templates that are available to the customer.
Okay.
Various report types, so absence-based reports, access control-based reports,
Okay.
based reports.
And what's on the right-hand side?
On the right-hand side, so they would have selected the report, they would have dragged it over to the right-hand side.
Okay, so different report templates on the left, drag them to the right.
Yes. Once you go on the right-hand side,
Yep.
you can then right-click on those, go down into properties,
Great.
set the properties up. So
Okay.
the properties will be for when and for who you're reporting.
Fine. Could you just show me an example of a report, please? Do we have one set up?
Yeah, so if I do the Bradford Factory report.
Could you maximise that so we can see it?
So it's given everybody's details, payroll number, and the Bradford Factory score.
Great. And this information can be exported as well. We call it reports and exports. There are how many reports in total?
There's over about 200 reports.
200 reports, okay. And are these customisable?
They will be.
Yes.
Yes.
Fine. Okay. Great. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks very much. And now I'd like to talk about timeware customer care. So once your timeware system has been configured and your staff have been trained by the implementation team, there'll be a handover to the customer care department. For the first few weeks, a member of the liaison team will contact your timeware administrator on a daily basis to check that everything is working well and to arrange support if required. Okay, customer care incorporates two important teams. We have the technical support team and the customer liaison team. Both teams are managed by the customer care administrator, who is ultimately responsible for the smooth running of that department. And the technical support team consists of two team leaders with technicians working beneath them that have been trained to resolve support calls in a timely manner. And as part of your managed service, members of the technical support team will visit your site on an annual basis to upgrade your timeware system. Authorised staff members from your company can contact our support team by email, by phone, or by accessing our online fault logging system, which is available 365 days of the year. We also have a customer liaison team, which is responsible for ensuring that timeware keeps your system running in an acceptable manner. The liaison team are non-technical, but are instrumental in the planning of annual upgrades and site visits. Their duties include ensuring that timeware meets GDPR guidelines, coordinating roadshows, and overseeing the editing of timeware's quarterly magazine timelines.